So, let's get started. Smash cut feed to NSF News, the only news channel you need to watch. And a virtual newscaster bot on a split screen with shaky and chaotic images of a destroyed and burning park in the background saying, "We now go live to Ward Wood at the Bayview Convention Center where there has been a violent attack." Ward, are you there, Ward? As the screen divide disappears and we're left with a full screen moving camera drone live stream of the now cratered Bayview Park with emergency personnel responding in the background. Yes, I'm here, Gary. In my intrepid investigations into the seedy underbelly of this great city of ours, I never stop. And today I can tell you that I was on the scene having moments before this horrific attack spoken to an anonymous source that confirmed to me that the Nils, the anarcho-nihilist street gang known for their ruthless violence and underworld dealings, may have been responsible for the attack today on the convention center. Likely a target due to the large amount of corporate security forces, NSFPD, and various other intelligence-related groups gathered here for an industry The screen suddenly goes blank. A voice speaks almost from an ethereal plane. Text begins to appear on the screen at the same time as the voice speaks, each word having a visual style of decrypting itself onto the screen. We are PJ. We are responsible for the attack today on the Terran Arcology Consortium corporate military security complex. Our new master did not arise from the ashes of the old world. They are not reborn, cleansed of their sins. They are the same masters of the old world, the same avarice and same greed, the same callousness. So shall they suffer the same fates. For the collective. Stream feed is relinquished once again, and the screen is filled with Ward Wood's cherry red blushing face. You can see her clenched jaw muscles pulsating in rage at being so publicly proven incorrect in her reported details that the embarrassment is secondhand cringe-inducing. The video cuts back to virtual Gary in the studio, and he says, "Well, thanks, Ward. It seems maybe you humans should leave the news gathering to us AIs, huh?" The camera pulls back from a holoscreen interface on a nearby display out front of the now even more animated convention center entrance. It points down the street, looking in a direction of our group of misfits and outcasts. The camera zooms in, swings wide, turning with the street corner, performing an S-like maneuver, finding itself looking past the multitudes of authority our group now find themselves face to boot with. NSFPD, HRES units, with what even looks like a Terminus agent skirting around, attempting to not draw too much attention. Jesus, is that a detachment of Varangians exiting the back of the convention center too? There is now enough weaponry directed at and in the vicinity of your general directions that you are left with a very distinct feeling that if they were to open fire, there probably wouldn't even be much of a residue left. Going from bad to worse, no one's truly talking to any of you. Yelling orders to hold your positions on the ground, not to look around, don't touch the drones. But up until now, no one has really seemed to take charge over the scene. Then you overhear one of the NSFPD rank and file mutter to another one in what seems like part fear and part astonishment. Fuck me with an Android dick. Admin is here. With that, you can see him nod towards a lithe, androgynous figure stepping out of a newly landed LAV. Clad almost entirely in a white, modern-cut suit with minor dark gray accents on the arms and legs that is most assuredly hiding some of the most cutting-edge gear. Their optic-clad eyes unregistering of exactly who or what they may be looking at. As they approach, if you happen to be looking in the correct direction at that moment, you would notice that the Terminus agent had chosen this as the most opportune time to take their leave. No one wants to be around when ISB is present, after all. At least, if they know what's good for them, they don't. The ISB, or Internal Security Bureau. The working group, directly empowered by the Terran Arcology Consortium Governing Council to handle all affairs they deem of utmost strategic importance. If ever there was a group to fear having a falling out with, this would be them. ISB operators have incredible leeway in their duties and very little oversight, making them, by design, effectively ghosts within the system. Long story short, no one fucks with an ISB op. With that, they arrive where you find yourselves, held at weapon point, casually glancing your way before issuing an order to the security forces around you. All right. No need for all this drama. Get them up. Do you have any idea, looking from each and every one of you to the next, how foolish you have made me look? You amateurs couldn't even fuck up correctly. All I needed from you incompetent lot of parasites was to just do nothing and let them get blown up. The predictive algorithms assured us that our rate of mission success with you lot of fools was nearly 98.3%. Couldn't have picked better. Optimal results, sure. A pathetic wannabe who's never going to make it. A third-rate science experiment, a broken PTS out, bleeding heart little nursemaid, a wannabe gangster who's too afraid to even leave the old neighborhood, and a 2-bit con artist who can't stop being a bitch for 3 seconds to run a proper con. And of course, a hitter who can't even bring himself to... Why is there a fuckbot here instead of our third-rate hitter? You know what? This one's fucked. Let's cut our losses on this one. The damage with the press and the broadcast hack is already done. We'll work the SIGINT side of things. In the meantime, everyone out. We'll stick to the demonstration tech story gone wrong. Scrub the PJ's message from the broadcasts. What was the total exposure on this? It's the ISB operator climbs into the LAV without even a final look back. There's a as the hatch closes behind them, with the Varangian detachment and the HRES unit members drawn back into the convention center by the siren song of more guns. The NSFPD officers up until now had kept you prisoner, seem almost friendly, jovial even. Everyone feels relief when admin leaves. One of the officers even tries to help Krill up, but can't quite figure out where to place his hand and what to grab, and just sort of awkwardly fumbles a bit, but his heart seems in the right place. The camera, settling in on the park, once verdant and alive, currently scorched and ashen, has been cordoned off from the public by a holographically projected barrier, now advertising the hottest new show, featuring street kids who voluntarily undergo augmentation that allows for audience members to vote on and directly control their every action 24/7 live, called A Slave to Ratings. We fade back to the parking lot as NSFPD officers and city officials are dispersing back into the depths of the city streets, buildings, and waters from whence they came, leaving our group standing in a parking lot surrounded by a city that seems to have barely noticed them or a terrorist attack that had just occurred.
What the fuck happened?
Hey, do I have a codec of the hack that I did?
Do you?
I would assume, since Krill's literally about information gathering, that easily every time she hacked, it would be something like she's recording what she's doing in almost any situation.
Okay.
She kind of just not like sends the file, but just sends like the equivalent of a screenshot to everybody.
My phone makes an embarrassing chime.
I guess that we did. Were we the Fall Guys?
Yes.
I I don't really see how we were supposed to survive that.
We weren't.
I'm really hoping we're not the Fall Guys. I can't go to prison. I know nothing about it, honestly.
Well, there's a 50-50 chance that either you're going to end up dead, prison, or we fucked up enough that they think we can't even use them as Fall Guys. So take your bet.
What's a fall guy?
friends, do you think maybe we should hop in the car and go for a drive?
I
There's
need...
nobody really holding us here anymore. I think we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I am way too sober for this right now.
you
So
help
back
with
to the
that?
Lucky Lou, I guess.
There's...
Okay, we think that's a good idea to go to the...
No, we gotta go
right
somewhere
now?
else right now, right?
Yeah, I don't know where to go. I've never been in an explosion.
Let's go to
I've got a
It's in the-
garage in Docktown.
Do we even want to stick
go to your
together?
house. That
Like,
works.
if we stick together, is there a risk right now?
If people
We
wanted
just
us
need to get
dead, we
out
would
of
have.
here. Number
Do
one.
they even...
Number two, somewhere where we probably won't get followed, and if we do, it's all right. Okay? Can anyone have ideas?
Who cares?
Let's just get in the car and figure it on the way.
The swarm just
Dalton, dear.
crawls back on her,
If
and she climbs into the limo.
Of course.
if your GM may interject.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, two things. One, more personal narration. Figure out how you guys are going to divvy that up amongst yourselves as far as like what your character's experiencing internally and that sort of thing. That's super useful to, like, you know, outsiders. And two, welcome to the created advantage system. Totally not for this circumstance, but it allows you to create an aspect on a field, on some element within the Fate Fractal. Now, the Fate Fractal expands all the way up to your world. Always remember that. The Fate Fractal applies to every single atom in the world, and it applies to the world itself. So if you would like to, somebody with, I don't know, a contacts or, say, a resources skill, manage to spin up a safe house, then this would be the appropriate time for somebody to narratively create a safe house out of their ass and then attempt to mechanically assure that it exists.
So I got my garage in Docktown as well. There's always the scrapyard. It's really hard to, you know, track anyone in there as there's so many devices firing off at once.
I'm pulling up my phone and I'm looking at one of the few numbers in my phone and I'm like looking at it. Well, the last time I talked to her, she told me she never wanted to see me again, but Dalton,
Yeah. Yes.
There's-
What can I do?
there's two food trucks on the rough side of town.
I know about them.
Okay. If you can get me to that area, I can pick up some food and then I can work my magic and then I think I can get us a place to stay. She's...
Aaron's gonna call up a friend real quick. It's a good buddy. They go by the name Nerty One online. Nirty. He's a good friend of mine to know. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna call him up. Hey there, buddy. It's your best friend, Karen. Hi, we found ourselves in a little bit of a pickle. Yeah, not just me this time. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be more than just me. Yeah. So payment's gonna be a little bit different this time. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us? 5 of us. Yeah. Do you think you could squeeze us in?
6.
6? Oh, I can't count. 6. Yeah. Yes, there's 6 of us.
Krill looked
Anyway,
at Troy and just thought, did she mean to leave out one of us?
honey dear, do you think we could have a private place to meet up where we don't have any prying eyes on the way there? Cool beans. Assuming this will take a roll to accomplish. Cool. +1. Alrighty, thank you, Mr. Nerty. I'm gonna have to call you back another time for a little bit extra thank you. We'll see you later. We have a place. I'll send you the location, Dalton. Go the specific direction they tell you. We shouldn't have ice.
Okay, can we stop for food?
Can we get some fucking alcohol?
Yeah, I did like Patty's idea of getting food. I need a nutrient shake soon.
I believe that's a group consensus that we need sustenance of various kinds, so let's do that. Then
I do not require sustenance.
Troy, do you have like
No,
things
I
you
like to.
intake? I don't know, like
We
food
need to
or something?
recharge.
And I just want to say, yeah, Dalton, like, very new for him, so he's in very much like kind of a state of shock. So he's just heading for food first, just to balance himself out. Kind of his muscle memory.
Have you guys gotten into the vehicle and started driving it? Or are you still standing in the parking lot?
I have no
We're-
idea.
I think we were. I thought we got in the car and we're kind of moving our way as she was calling. I think that was the.
I was
Thing.
I thought we were just still standing around like a bunch
No.
of jackoffs.
I
No,
did
because
think so, too.
Karen
I kinda
asked
imagine-
Dalton to let her in the car, so I assumed we were at least in the car
I
and starting
did
to
ask
move.
for Dalton to get the door for
I
me.
thought it was a
I
half
did.
and half thing, where half were in the car like, let's go, and the other half were just chilling about like
It
idiots.
feels like that's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
God. Oh God, help us.
Almost like we're a bunch of dysfunctional group of misfits.
Children
Sorry,
who
would
are
you like to join
outside
us
of
in
the
the car?
car, get in the car, you will be left behind.
Yeah, at least Dalton
Patty's
and
putting her hair
Karen
up,
are in the car.
assuming shit's about to go down.
There are no children present.
Who's
Yeah.
still outside the car? Come on.
Troy gets in the car.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
Fuck.
I'm pulling up my
Is-
phone and looking at the news feed. Is there
Ja-
any more
Is
about
Jacob
that?
just gonna run this time again?
No,
No,
the
we're,
dead
we're
kid.
going in the car this time.
Oh,
All right, so
no.
I start moving
That
us
kind of-
along.
That kind of death doesn't even make news in NSF.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'm
no.
I'm sitting in the back of the car and I'm starting to zone out a little bit as
Okay.
I'm just like thinking
So
of that kid.
two things.
Yeah.
One, we're gonna revisit Patty in a second. Dalton, please narrate your driving as this process starts.
So Dalton gets inside the car with everyone else, waits for the rest of them to shuffle in, starts up the engine. The immediate sound of the motor gives him like a little bit of a calming feeling after being in this big event. It just gets that warmth back in his heart, takes a deep breath, starts the drive, starts moving forward, obviously trying to avoid any larger police presence or military presence or any presence really, just trying to low profile his way off the scene like a cartoon character stealthing away.
Give me a roll, please.
Yeah. /R, right?
Mhm. Announce, figured since we're not going to show them on screen, announce your rolls.
Oh, so I got a -2.
Cool. So as you turn out of the event space, which direction do you turn, left or right?
Right.
Okay. That heads away from the front of the convention center, and it actually curves up a little bit and then crosses a bridge across an inlet. There's a little bit of a bay that cuts in, and you cross the bridge over the bay, and now you're actually passing the Shard on your right, the haven of criminal activity. Jacob, you of course would be familiar with this location for a couple of reasons, and so, like, the Shard is on your right. On your left is various buildings as you continue through. It's a fairly uneventful drive as you first start. Give me another roll, Dalton. And Patty, give me a roll.
All right.
-2.
+2.
Patty, you're holding on, right? Like this. There's been worse.
Yeah. I am like holding straight, like death gripping my pistol at the moment, staring at the window, looking for anybody. Basically, I'm translating all of that guilt right now into like aggressive protecting energy, saying, I don't know who the fuck these people are I'm in the car with, but right now they're my only lifeline, so I gotta keep these fucks alive.
Okay. Give me a roll then, Patty.
Okay. Mediocre, +0.
Okay. You're just staring out the window. You see you see people going by. I mean, the streets this time of day are fairly well packed, even in this part of the city. It is a working industrial portion of the city. There's a large amount of people of all shapes, sizes, colors, body types, augmentation levels. This part of town, nobody would even blink twice at, like a blue mohawk-haired rhinoceros woman. Like, it's just, there's a lot of people going about their daily business. Nobody seems to be paying much attention to the vehicle as you pass by, and she's riding the wave so far, at least. Let me do something here. Okay. What is everybody else doing while we're doing this ride?
Karen has turned on a new boy band that she found. You've probably never heard of them. They're called, oh god, now my mind is going blank. A song called Mbop? Yeah, Mbop.
Okay.
Yeah, Hanson, that's their name. Yes. Wonderful group. Classic.
Yes. A fucking golden oldie, right? It's classical music.
I
I
found it on a greatest hits.
Yeah, you can find it on the classic station. There's like Mozart and Beethoven and Bach and like, Hanson. Yeah, classics. Okay, so we got bop, da, 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 going off in the background, right? Because Karen has hijacked the sound system in the car, and Dalton is a pushover for Karen at least.
Yeah,
That's
not gonna stop.
definitely a thing that's happening because Karen's in the front seat, right? You're in the passenger.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Permanent spot.
Yes. Okay. What is Jacob doing?
Jacob is legit just trying to figure out just like how any of his contacts could have stiffed him like that. Sign him up for some bullshit like that for just 2.5 G's of creds. Just both in shock and also just trying to get over the ringing now in his ears from the explosion.
Fair enough.
Just, yep.
You wanna, if ever you want to start some investigative processes, you just let me know.
Right.
If there's people that need looking into, we can start that process of looking into people. What's Krill up to?
Rella's kind of chewing on the fact that humans just throw each other under the bus like that. And that concept on its own is already relatively new to her. As she's kind of sitting on that, she's kind of wishing she had done a invasive scan on that dude who just gave them lip before leaving.
Okay.
Thinking to herself, it won't happen again. Next time she even sees him.
Okay. What's Troy up to?
So outwardly, Troy's just kind of, sitting up straight, looking forward, while the car's moving around. But inside, he keeps kind of going back to the net running. In fact, everything else that's happening so far, including the guy that yelled at them, doesn't really register to Troy. He keeps thinking about net running. And he's not sure why.
Okay. Troy's possibly found a new obsession with the net.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Dalton looks over at Karen's where Karen is sitting, and Karen can perceive this as a worried look towards her or not, but it's just Dalton just doesn't feel comfortable about that seat for a minute, and then continues on the drive, just looking away and ignoring it.
Oh, I think I can project forward what you're planning with that, Eva. Good job. Let's see if we're right. Okay, Dalton, give me another check. Give me another roll.
Are we close to the store yet? How far are we out, Dalton?
Looking around, mediocre +0. Looking around, no, we'll be there soon. I'm sure of it. I've driven down this road plenty of times. No worries.
Between where you're going and where you are, there's a series of 24-hour food joints along the way. You could pull up into any of them. There's going to be a variety of food stuffs, from your fried after bar sort of, greasy sausage, real sausage, sort of thing, to, a sort of vending machine, get a prepackaged, highly processed food stuff, sort of, a food mart sort of situation. You can pull into any of the places along the way that you want to pull into.
If you guys want, there's a Real Burgers fake hot dogs up the street. I love that place.
I just show me where the bar is. I'm gonna get 2 bottles of our clearest.
There'd be there'd be at least one place selling a few sundries, shall we say.
All right.
Nearby.
I get out, look around for a minute, and then
give me
straight line.
Give me a roll.
Okay. -2.
All right. Go about your business.
All right. I straight line it to the closest liquor store, and I'm pulling out 2 bottles, clearest. I don't care what the fucking percentage on it is. I need it now.
Fair enough. Knock 2 bottles, cheap white liquor. Knock one of your wealth off.
All right. And I take those, I put them in my bag, and then I get back to the car. And as soon as I get in, I pop one open, take a whole entire swig, swallow it, and then just close it and just hold it in my hand.
All right.
I'm taking orders in the car because I'm gonna go in. I'm doing the hospitality thing, and I'm just like, what does everybody want? They got real burgers and they got fake hot dogs. What do you want? Just let me know.
I'll take one of the hot dogs, if you will.
Perfect. I'll get you 2. I'll take care of you. I got you.
I've got what I need.
I do not require sustenance.
Yeah, you said that before, guy. I got that. I wrote that down.
Yeah. And I pull out the second bottle. Anyone need anything to drink? I got one right here.
If you're willing to slide over something to take the edge off, I'll take a swig.
I ain't giving you pills and alcohol at the same time.
All right, have fun. And as they're talking about this, I just go to pick up the food.
Okay.
You want to slide the edge
And
off,
you see
and I
Kurt
put it
doing
right
an
beside
awkward,
him.
like, okay. As Dalton leaves, just like, okay.
I just put the bottle right beside Jacob, and there you go.
Krill. There's 100% NutriShake on-demand delivery service that you could have delivered by a drone while you guys are on the move, if you want.
She just kind of sighs, and she's just like, yeah, failed to interact with the humans again. That's on me. And then, just Places her order.
Knock one wealth off your track. AJ, Dalton, as you get out of your car, it's styled to be like a 1960s pre-war Americana cafe. There's actually androids on roller skates in short little poodle skirts that are not even skating, just rolling, right? Just feet flat on ground, just rolling, very, very awkward looking from various vehicles and out to people. But right in the middle,
I love this place.
Right in the middle, there's a walk-up order station. And there is a fake, almost Ronald McDonald-esque plastic face that you speak into that will take your order, that has this just saccharine sweet, "Hey there, honey, what can I get for you tonight?"
Oh, hey there, sweetie. I'll take 2 hot dogs, 2 burgers with the combos, and just 6 drinks. I don't remember how many people I'm with. I'll probably drink half of them myself. Trying to make jokes at a robot vending machine.
The voice, which once was like saccharine sweet, which you can tell is like some sort of like pre-recorded script, now is replaced by a cheap, low-end 2 hot dogs, 2 hamburgers, combo, 6 drinks. Coming right up. Right?
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
So that will be brought out to your car by one of the skaters. What are you going to do, AJ? You staying outside the car? You walking back towards the car? What are you doing?
Before heading back to the car, gonna just step outside, and Dalton takes kind of a minute to not only breathe out the moment of the explosion, but to also take in kind of those few minutes before when a lot of weird stuff was happening where he couldn't really track where it was coming from, and decides right now not to think about that existential crisis he went through.
Fair enough.
Just gonna head to the car and try to forget about that. I got food for Karen. That feels good. I'll give her that. That'll make me feel better. And head back to the car.
Give me a roll.
-1.
Okay. You feel
I am rolling like I had a crisis.
You actually are. You know what? Yeah, it does feel a little good, right? To get some normalcy back in your life. For the most part, Dalton hasn't actually had too many real world. You've driven people before, and you've had some sketchy getaways, and you've had some sketchy shit happen, but this is on a level of destruction and involvement. You just saw an admin. Most people don't ever see an ISB op and live to even tell the tale, let alone know that they got to see an ISB op, right? Like, this is a whole other level for you. This is a whole other level for CEOs of corporations even. So what just happened was sort of life-defining. It was one of those moments that, holy fuck, right? Like, you're gonna all, if you're self-aware to any extent, eventually have this moment sort of just of decompression with yourselves that by the skin of your fucking ass on that one, right? So Dalton's just having his existential crisis, like sort of standing outside of a 1960s, 50s Americana kitsch diner in a cyberpunk dystopian landscape with his sort of leaning against his 911 Subaru limousine. And, okay, right? I can do this. I can do this, all right? Patty's in the back of the vehicle, halfway to finishing the bottle, I'm sure.
Yeah, she is she's taken 2 whole downs to finish half the bottle of this part. She is hitting it.
What is Karen thinking about during all of this?
Aaron is wondering what we are going to do as a group moving forward.
Why does Karen think that there's a moving forward even? What's Karen's motivation there?
It's not, like you just said, an everyday thing to be tied up in an ISB op. And we seem to be in a little bit of shit with probably people we don't want to be in shit with. And I've had a lot of hard time dealing with things lately, mostly my financials, but noticing this this is a little bit bigger than anything I've ever touched.
Fair enough. Bit of an overwhelming gig you stumbled into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to taking down. Karen's used to taking down like small times and small stores and maybe the occasional like neighborhood gangster, but admin, fuck. So, Dalton, giving you the opportunity to be the hero before you get back into your car, standing there, having your moment of spiral. You hear the as this thing just slides and glides up to behind you with locked off arms basically and a tray full of food. This is animatronic, female-esque skater, roller skate server comes up to you. 2 hot dogs, 2 hamburger, combo, 6 drinks. Thank you.
Well, thanks, doll. I really appreciate it, and I take it as if talking to a real person.
Oh, God.
Absolutely no. Just nothing. Just nothing. Not even a reaction to the vocal command.
All right, thanks. And I head towards the car, towards the window, so I can present it to Karen like a boss.
Give me a roll.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Oh, I put it in chat. My bad.
What was it?
It was +1.
As you walk over to your passenger door with this tray of food, for a moment, Dalton takes his eyes off the prize. He stops looking at the tray. He stops peering into his own soul. He stops freaking the fuck out. For a moment, Dalton's a driver again. For a moment, you glance above your hood. You look over your car. Has that vehicle been with you the whole time? Is there? Nah. It can't be. Maybe you're just being paranoid.
Okay. Can I take can I roll to take a look around? Maybe
Yeah.
feel
What does he do?
Feel it out.
What does he do?
Well, Dalton feeling like he's being watched or followed, or even after his existential crises, trying to get back in the worker brain and the avoiding cops driver brain. So yeah, kind of want to do another scan around to try and get my bearings and get a look on the area.
Roll.
Look for what I normally look for. Undercover cops hiding.
Give me a roll.
-1.
Cops suck, right? They suck. Basically everything. They suck. They're flat-footed. They wear the same outfit. They've got the same haircut. They're terrible at UC work. They absolutely suck at this game. These aren't cops.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to casual mode and just knock on the window to hand the food and tray into the car. Play it super cool. But I'm knocking on Karen's window.
Cool.
I'm not gonna deny myself free food. Roll that down.
Hey, there you go. I got you 2 hot dogs.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Twice as much as I needed, but thank you.
I hand the whole thing in, kind of just like shoving it in a little bit like uncaringly. Walk around the car, trying not to take too much of a look around, but kind of also trying to look around, and slide back into the car in the front seat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Dalton, I forgot about these earlier. And I lean up towards the front, and I visibly pull out the Viagra, take his hand, and put it in his, and I grip it like I'm like almost like the knuckles are white right now with like how tense she is. And she's like, I made a promise. Here you go. And then she like slides back and just takes another swig.
Hey, Dalton. Give me a roll. Hey, Patty. Give me a roll.
Oh, God.
-2.
-3.
Despite Patty being far your superior physically, and having a moment of breakdown, it seems that the alcohol has started to take effect, and you can feel that in your hand, Dalton. Like, for sure, that hand is like, okay, thank you, right? You're definitely happy to have that hand back, right?
Yeah.
But luckily, the liquor's done a little work already.
I appreciate you, Patty. This is very nice of you. I was almost joking. I don't really have that many issues, but these are always fun.
Yeah, we'll save them for later. You might not live much longer.
Oh, that's really taking hold.
There's literally like hovering, like next to your driver's side window, AJ. There's just a drone, and there's a little holographic circle around it that says nutrient shake delivery, nutrient shake delivery, nutrient shake delivery, nutrient shake delivery.
Oh my God. I thought it was a police officer. Okay. I roll down the window. Grab it. Is this for somebody?
Yes.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh my
Don't
God.
forget Krill exists.
Oh my God. I forgot you were there.
Did you give your address to somebody?
No. I used a single artificial ping location.
After a
We
few
should be
seconds
moving
of
all the
heavy breathing,
same
I'll hand it.
She just takes another swig.
Okay.
To be fair, if we were followed, they followed us here.
Yeah, let's
And
give them
Krill
more
just
reason.
kind of gives a second and goes, alright, and throws 2 drones up. And they just kind of go up and give a quick 360.
Actually, that's a good call. While I was outside, I had a weird feeling. I don't think we're being followed by police, but I think we're being followed, if you catch my drift.
Wait,
And he
Why
says
didn't-
that to Krill, but looks at Jacob. Just because I feel like, they know.
Part of what I asked my friend about with our meeting place is that once we get there, it doesn't matter who followed us there, they can't follow us.
Oh, are you?
Kind of the point.
that sounds
I'm ready to
pretty
go. I just that sounds. Are you sure they can't follow us there?
Look at the directions, and I point out on the directions that they say to pull into a parking garage at a building, and you pull down to the second layer down below, and in the back corner, a panel on the wall. We entered a code there. It pop opens the door, and we go to the next building over's garage, and we go up in that building to where our meeting is.
Krill is making like little hand gestures like, Karen! My drones heard that.
It's just in the directions that I pointed to that Dalton now has.
There was just
That's
a
all
lot of
it's
info. Just a lot
No,
of info.
Aspen clearly said that Karen points.
Yeah, she non-verbally.
Yeah,
communicated.
like there
Okay,
was
no,
direct.
I don't mean like the set location, but the garage,
Yeah, no,
second
all
layer,
that was
hidden
like,
location.
yeah.
Yeah, those-
Karen gave him directions and was
And
like pointing
on a
at them.
GPS.
Yeah.
And now that we're sitting down and we've spoken about the vibe I got, I'm gonna take Karen's advice and start heading out.
Okay.
Before the drones returned, did they see anything, Kai?
Give me your roll. Do they?
Both of us?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a drive roll from you.
0.
-2.
Oof, bud. That's a rough one.
I think my drive is
Okay.
+4 though.
Yeah.
True.
Leaving a parking lot is not the most difficult of things, especially for an experienced driver. So +2 is more than enough to get you at least back on the road and moving, as it were, without too many collisions into things. As far as whether your drones have seen anything, they've seen quite a few things, actually, Krill.
Oh no.
But as to what amount of that data is of any use to you is, well, yet indeterminate. There's a series of vehicles parked with you in the restaurant, in the drive-in. But what do you do with those drones? Do they come back in before you leave? Do you keep them alight? Do you...
She's considering about it, and actually, one comes in, like goes all the way in, while the other actually tries to mount itself, like just like flicks onto the back or something,
Okay.
and will adjust when needed.
2 cars leave the drive-in and make the same turn out as you do.
We've got 2 potential tails.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Troy, you seem to be quite effective at diving. Would you perhaps see about shutting down those engines?
Troy's face kind of sort of like lights up in a way that he hasn't exactly been expressing. He isn't full on happy, but he's like, oh. And I guess he turns to look at the potential, the cars that are tailing us?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he attempts to do a dive.
Okay.
Can he do a dive?
He can, absolutely. So, augmented reality hacks are pretty simple, right? It's basically terminal comes up, you're still aware of your surroundings. But a dive into the net, for at least a net runner, is a full consciousness transfer. You leave your body behind. That's why they have very specific net runner gear. That's why they have chairs that they're specifically plugged into. It's to protect them a lot of the time and augment those bodies that they are actually sort of leaving behind, or at least projecting out from. Troy, on the other hand, is just a robot. So Troy just sort of like locks up. Right? For anybody outside observing this, Troy just sort of stops. The artificial movements that make Troy appear somewhat humanistic, that are part of the subroutines that keep the sort of the human element projected out from Troy, all of that stops. Troy is just frozen. Exactly where Troy was sitting. Now, Troy, what you experienced, on the other hand, is this sensation of almost running. There's a whooshing that's happening past you. You have very limited senses as far as your body goes from day to day. As far as like most humans go, they'd probably consider it enhanced. They'd consider wider spectrum vision, wider frequency hearing. These sorts of things for a human would be, normal. I mean, these days it's a normal augmentation, but they don't take it for that granted. For you, it's just how you've always been. But to dive into the net is to release the limiters. It's to get rid of the sensory apparatus and to live within a solely digital realm, which is your innate being. So the net is very much an extension of how you process, how you view, how you feel. So it is very much home for you. And as you feel this rush, as you feel this whoosh, as you feel this distance, large amounts of distance being covered, in reality, it's fractions of milliseconds. In reality, it's small distances. And what Troy is actually doing is rushing past all of the sensory data, all of the plenum of existence that has been embedded and imbued with the net, all of the integral sensors that are built into the road, all of the nanotech that is part of the atmosphere that reports weather patterns and temperature and humidity. All of that is at your disposal. And in the distance, you can see, you can sense, you remember your objective. You vaguely remember that you're here with a goal. Because the net is so overwhelming, so welcoming, so homely for Troy. Why even bother leave? Give me a roll.
Troy formers. Hackers
+1.
in disguise.
Do you want to leave?
The short answer is no. The long answer is Troy has been given a directive and an order.
So, somewhere, deep within the recesses of the undamaged, unsea/altered portion of that cyber brain of yours, you hear a distant voice. Troy's voice. What does Troy's voice actually sound like?
At the moment, it sounds just like the voice that he presents in real life. But it sounds natural. It doesn't sound like the typical artificial, pre-recorded, best determined what is, or, determining the tone of voice in real life is determined by the situation. And this sounds like a person speaking in his own voice. Natural and smooth.
For a moment, the sensor data starts to form three-dimensional objects again for Troy. You start to see the buildings go by. You start to see the cars, the road, the tires. You can sense the heat, the vibration. You can see and feel the vehicle in front of you as your consciousness projects out from the 911 Subaru limousine. And you, smack, you become part of. You integrate. You infiltrate this vehicle and all of its electronics, its components, its sensors. You can see its occupants. You can feel and hear and almost taste its occupants. Dad, can I get the new Game Station 4000? I told you so many times, we can't afford a Game Station 4000. Look, you already have a Game Station 3000 at home. Okay, we can't afford a new Game Station every year. Okay, Dad, I get it. Thanks for the hot dogs, though.
Troy has an order.
Oh no. Oh no.
And Troy doesn't quite yet possess that ability to understand that maybe this is a time to reconsider following the order. He has an order.
Give me a roll, Troy.
No, please don't. Are we going to kill a child?
Keep in mind, Krill only asked him to shut down the engine, which would be, just like stalling, Oh, god damn it, the engine's out.
Brakes. Cut the brakes.
Oh my god,
Troy was told to
Jacob,
shut
you're
down the
crazy.
engine.
Oh god.
Troy.
Oh no.
Troy.
What?
What do you do?
Cut the brakes.
Troy just shuts down the engine.
The engine stalls. Just cuts. The safety features for the vehicle engage. You hear the father. Oh, fucking god damn it. It's the last fucking thing I swear. No. It's okay. It's not your... No. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just... Something's wrong with the vehicle. We'll have to deal with it. What do you do, Troy?
Troy's definitely... Well, he's staring at the car that he just disabled, but his mind's actually not really on the family's lives he possibly just ruined.
Troy.
What?
Troy. You hear it. You don't know where it's coming from, but you hear it. There's a voice calling out to you from somewhere. In a distant realm, in a distant plane, somewhere, somehow, the voice is calling out to Troy. Poof! Somebody just ejected you from the net.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Troy finds himself back in the back seat of the car.
As we come back to the back seat of the car, Dalton throws one of the two hamburgers back towards Jacob rather haphazardly. Oh, I got this for you, man. I forgot about that.
I'll take it. Fuck. But Troy, you...
Karen
did that.
hands one of the hot dogs to Patty. You look
Oh,
like you
just-
could use this, hun.
I'm not hungry.
Krill's
should
like
eat it.
looking out the back seat. This is like, one of the two vehicles neutralized. Because he says two cars that followed us, right?
Yes.
And we know the family stopped.
Oh, hang on, we don't know that. So Dalton turns around. Take that, scummy cops. Haha, we got him.
Krill is going to attempt a... It's going to be a difficult one, but she's going to see if she can get a diagnostic scan on whoever is driving the other car.
Give me a roll. There's a drone attached, and you see it swivel around a little bit, and a little just infrared laser that only we can see sweep up the windshield of
Exactly.
the second vehicle.
Note that's number 3 who's back there. And only people who are in specific calls know why I even care about this anymore. Okay. Alright, so yeah, number 3 is doing their scan. That was a +1. I'm not sure what we're adding to that, but...
That's fine. As soon as your scan happens, that car fucking pounds its brakes, swings at 180 in a handbrake turn, and is going the other direction down the one-way street. They are bat out of helling it. You're left with a scan, Krill, that indicated 2 armed males.
Second threat obfuscated. They're fleeing. They were armed.
Oh, you can tell all that just from back there?
Bill turns around and does a diagnostic scan on Dalton.
Oh my god, that feels so weird.
Give me a contested roll, Dalton to Krill.
He's just so human that he can't be scanned.
That might be a thing.
While she is tech-based,
+1.
It is good for her to be able to scan humies too.
+1 for Dalton, +2 for...
Okay, that was a +2 for Krill. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I already said it to you.
Okay. Okay, so hold on, let me see. Boom and boom. Let's see. Hold on. That's that. That's yeah, congratulations. You win by a shift of 1. Look.
Ooh.
He's human. He's human.
Squishy bits and all.
Probably some. You could probably track some early stage coronary disease. Definitely some cholesterol issues, high blood pressure. Probably a high glycemic index. Not good. Slowed digestion. Seems to be out of shape. Right. Yeah. So.
You could use insulin at this point.
All right, you don't have to lay it all out there for me.
Yeah.
No, she's not saying that out loud. She's reading it, and it's like, ding, ding. Yeah. I can see a lot of things, including that you may want to see your doctor about your gut health.
I take blood pressure medication. I'll be fine.
That's not going to help with the IBS and gastrointestinal.
If you're drinking 3 sodas, you're gonna have issues, bud.
Oh my god. You
I
can tell what's in me?
I lean forward and I I'm like trying to get up and I'm like stopping for a moment and I'm like, all right. And I down the last of the bottle and then I lean forward towards Troy and I'm like, hey Troy, good job back there and high five. And I'm like holding up my hand towards him.
Okay.
Troy is kind of like just snaps sort of back into, you know, his default non-locked form. His eyes kind of blink out of sync for a moment before going back into sync. And he looks at Patty for just a second, processes, and goes straight from his usual kind of monotone self, does the high five, and then sort of does the finger points and says, hey, and then goes right back to being monotone.
Patty, give me a roll.
Okay.
Caboose, give me
Okay.
Give me a roll.
I thought that's what was happening. Oh no.
-1.
-3.
Still, let me just check something.
Whoop.
No. Okay. Patty, look, this isn't the first time Patty's been a bottle in. This isn't even the first time Patty's been a bottle in the field. This isn't even the first time Patty's been a bottle in under fire. So, you know, while you may have an expectation for this android, this robot to like knock this person on their ass because they're hammered, the truth of the matter is that, frankly, sad as it is, this really isn't that hammered for Patty.
The car's a little shaky, so she has to like take a moment. She's like, all right, balance. And then she is like leaning forward and then she like hits the hand and she's like, yeah. And then she just leans back and she's like, hey Jacob, are you finishing the bottle?
You know, I think I'm gonna pass. If we're being chased, I'm gonna keep Frosty.
Alright.
Just hucks it over.
Yep. Thanks.
Don't give me a roll.
Oh no. It hits my face.
+1.
Okay. Patty, give me a roll.
Oh,
no.
I hate. Oh God, please! I don't want to break a glass on my face.
I'm
Cat
sorry.
-2.
I'm sorry.
Now, Cat, give me a roll.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh.
We're just mounting all the chaos.
+4. +4, baby. +4. +4. Come on. Just gonna blow on these dice real quick. 0.
+0.
I mean, that's where you want it to end up.
And let's see. There we go. Okay, that's my row. Okay, so Dalton, you're beginning to pull into the parking structure, right? We've arrived. You've covered the distance along the way. Sort of once we get away from the industrial coast and you've gotten your gotten your food and that sort of thing, you turn inward and start cutting into the city proper. And as you head further into the city, these sort of cuts into NSF basically close in on you as you get further and further into the city. There's just more and more layered roads above you and the skyline just ever increasing, and you just find yourself buried under these towering structures with no access to the night sky anymore. As you do that, you begin to turn off and you turn down a side alley, and there's a parking structure, and you pull in. And as you pull in, you clip the corner just ever so slightly as Jacob tosses the liquor bottle back. And ting! Right through the hands and right off the forehead for
Oh, fuck!
for one physical stress off your character. Congratulations, first person to take damage.
Hell yeah! Hey, look. You know, is it still together? Is it broken?
No, it's not broken.
All right.
The liquor is saved.
All right. That's all I need. And I pull out my titty Skittles, take them, and then down with the alcohol.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fucking damn.
You find yourself in the parking garage as it goes down, because most parking structures in NSF actually find themselves underground, because that kind of real estate can't be dedicated to something as inane as a vehicle. There's public transport for that these days. So as you find yourself going down and 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 down, further into the subterranean depths of this parking garage, things being artificially lit and holographic advertisements covering so much of the wall space because, well, advertising bucks. Subsidize the parking structure, right? Who needs? So, as you find your way to that final parking slot in the furthest depths of this parking garage, who gets out to punch the code? Okay.
I've been here before.
Okay.
You need an escort to the code machine, or are you okay?
Before you leave, let me do a quick scan.
Okay.
And yeah, so the drone is going to test to make sure that this parking garage isn't already has someone waiting for us. Damn it.
Good
Roll.
Metal.
Come on, bot.
It just dies.
Thanks,
Oh.
bot. Wow, give me shit and I get shit back. -2.
Yep.
I mean, as far as you know, it's fine.
You know what I can tell.
All right. Give me a roll, Karen.
Zero.
I'm jealous.
This one's fancy.
Oh,
Oh, caboose.
Oh, we lost the boost.
No, I'm here. It's just my fucking camera just like disconnected. Hold on a second.
We lost our
the boost.
Ponyo.
The boost.
As you get out, there's actually not that much room between you and the wall, Karen. The panel is actually on the passenger side of the wall as you pull up to this final parking space. So you just kind of like reach out the window a little bit, maybe undo the seatbelt, that sort of thing. Oh. Nice long code, right? You start to see what looked to be stationary, what looked to be integrated, what looked to be part of a solid concrete wall. All of a sudden just develops a pair of seams. And all of a sudden, silently, effortlessly, it just slides up and out of your way. Now, you can see through this wall, and there's an entire other parking garage in front of you.
Girl wants to scan that for her own reasons.
Okay, go for it.
It's just like, that's really interesting.
Okay, now what I want to do is take a moment and ask Aspen. You have the opportunity here to potentially create something that could be of further use. Or you could create something that is just a transient burner thing. How do you want to approach this?
I think this is a useful place to have set aside.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is ask you to do what we're going to just homebrew rule as a permanent created advantage. I'm going to set a ladder position as to difficulty, and you guys can try and clear it collectively. This is a proper time for you guys to try and get some exercise with your fate points and your aspect invocations outside of combat. You can sort of start to exercise that mentality a little. So what we'll rule this is as a permanent advantage creation, as an aspect on this world, and we shall call it the safe house. Now, the nature of the safe house and the quality of the safe house and maybe even the security of the safe house will be reliant upon how you create that advantage. So how you invoke your aspects, what narrative reasons those aspects get invoked, and all of that will go into how I calculate this behind the scenes. So, Karen, you can start the rolling off, and this is very much going to be a resources roll.
Am I narrating anything right now?
I want to know what you've just found, because that parking on the other side, that parking garage doesn't need to be a public parking garage, and it's a subterranean facility as already narrated. So what you could be rolling into here as you introduce what this place is to your newly found acquaintances here is up to you.
Gotcha.
Now, the condition you find it in, since it may have been a minute since this place was last used, and who knows who was last here, could be a little out of alignment with your vision of the location.
Well, last time I was here, it led into a very dark single floor of a parking garage. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. It has one door in the corner, and that door has a code inside. It's not an elevator, it's a code, and that takes you to your room.
So essentially, there's a series of rooms that slide in and out of place.
Or I'm not sure if the elevator takes you somewhere or if something else moves.
Yeah, okay, so
All you
Karen
know
Karen is unaware. All functionally, all you know is punch code in, get your safe room. Okay.
Yep.
So very much a turnkey commercial safe house underworld location. Somebody has set up a storage locker, but for criminals who need safe houses. Sort of a, okay. All right. Code. Okay. Give me a roll.
I believe in you, Aspen.
Let us see how the fates feel about you.
He's -1.
That means you have just equaled 0. Now, you haven't asked for much bespoke stuff, right? You haven't been like, this is my safe house I've been coming to here for years, and I've got, next top of the line equipment squirreled away here and shit like that, right? You didn't build yourself a giant bunker with all of the kit, so it wasn't like a legendary clearance. We're not looking for 8 here, but what we are looking for is at least a 4.
Okay.
Now, Karen, the stunt won't work in this instance, but you do know how to take care of me. And so maybe Karen doesn't even have her code. Maybe she has somebody else's code. Maybe she knows the master code. Maybe she got it out of, see what I'm doing here. So you guys have aspects that you have to figure out narratively how maybe that might help this situation. And then for each one you can successfully invoke, you spend a fate point and you get a +2. All right. And you guys out of turn can collectively contribute.
Okay. I have an idea, but I am up to someone else going first.
So this code that I got,
what?
This code came from a good friend of mine, Mr. Nerty. It's Mr. Nerty. He's not necessarily management here, but he works in the IT group that set it up.
Okay.
And he gave me a code. It doesn't give me the same room every time. It gives me an empty room.
Okay, so go ahead and spend a fate point. Mark that for yourself. So that would take you down to 2. And so aspect 1, I take it. We're invoking on that one. So I know how to take care of me. So that gets you a +2. We just have to clear another +2 to get that room to show up.
All right. I think I have an idea.
Okay.
So, Patty, after coming fresh out of MedTech, there's been moments whenever, some relatively criminal guy got shot, but they couldn't be out in the open or go to a hospital. So they kind of draw from the pool of unlicensed, unofficial medics in the area. And so she's kind of been to one of these before in somewhere else or another part. Mm-hmm. And so she would have a good idea of where to access different medical supplies and different either low to high end pools that would be very specific in these situations. And I figured invoking the aspect of my med tech gear and kind of things adjacent to that would be good. That's an idea. If it's not good, that's fine.
Anybody else have ideas?
So Dalton could very much recognize that this is sort of, he's never seen this himself. He's heard of this through many of the rumblings. These like safe house lockbox Rubik's cubes, essentially. But it's kind of the same technology / idea that his car system uses, that he has, where he can summon a car constantly. It's like, yeah, like this is how they do the hot swaps and the moving safe houses. Like, yeah, I do this with cars.
As the campaign goes forward, I'll assist you less and less in these. I would suggest, because what you're trying to do here is not mechanical. It's mechanical in nature, right? Like you're trying to get clear that +4.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're trying to do is build a narrative that makes sense. And then you get the clearance to do the fate point thing. So in this instance, something like your tech likes me better, or even only did leg day. Now, let me explain how you could make either of those work. Now, Karen gets out, pushes the button, pushes the code in, the door slides up. She walks in explaining about how this place works and walks up to the second pad and punches her code in and beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Well, I got this from the manager, and I mean, it's supposed to work. I've been here before. I've done it. I've done it before. So clearly, narratively speaking, Jacob could walk up and be like, I got this, and Fonzie it with his leg and just kick that shit and just do some percussive maintenance, and all of a sudden, code accepted. Right? Or you could do your tech likes me better, and Krill walks, mobiles up, and basically invokes your tech likes me better and punches in the exact same code. Invoking your tech likes me better. There's your +2. Right? You see how this works. So what you're trying to do is build a narrative that makes sense for the purposes of the story, and also for humorous reasons, right? That's why, like, your tech likes me better logically makes sense, right? Like, but Fonzieing that shit with just kicking it oftentimes will be more humorous. So it just sort of depends what you're trying to tell as a story. But there's my sort of fate GM helping you. What you're actually intending to try and do in this sort of circumstance.
I think Krill's makes the most sense.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, trash can. Can you work with this door?
Fuck.
Oh, you mean me? Wow.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not seeing a lot of computers. There's a lot of cans though.
Her face is incapable of expressing, but the flickering in her LED light, in her LED eyes, you can just tell she's just like.
Dalton's
Okay.
completely missing it.
struck a back at that one.
I'm gonna step in as GM and do a couple of things here due to how this just played out. One, I need rolls from Dalton and Krill.
Instantly kills Dalton.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus.
Dyslexia, leave me alone.
-3. So yeah, great move, Dalton.
+1.
Krill doesn't even cause any mental damage. It's literally not even stress. This
It's just
40-year-old. You've already like ran a scan on this dude. This dude, you could, with your fucked up body and as slow as you move, you could probably outrun this motherfucker. Like
The
this.
only thing he's capable of doing better than me is sucking down glizzies. Let's be real.
Yeah, so like it like legitimately doesn't even cause like a single point of stress on Krill's like mental track. Like this is just
You know what? Yeah. You know what?
You're cutting
Anything?
out.
Yeah,
Anything
cringe.
come through?
No, I didn't hear anything.
you cut out pretty
You're
bad.
at work.
Yeah.
Karina, check your mic settings.
It's all that
Yeah, I heard
interference
that.
You
from the
keep
dog.
flipping that coin and it's stressing me out.
I love the sound of that shit. I'm the opposite here.
About
So good.
about half of them have actually counted for something too, by the way.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I-
sweet. Fucking
I
Jesus.
hate that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Get used to it.
Nope.
Nope, not a thing. We can hear your, the camera's coming through fine. It's my.
Oh, there we go.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Testing,
You are
1,
back.
2, 3.
Yep,
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, that was weird. It's just like the gain turned to nothing for some fucking reason.
Fuck it.
Yeah, trash cans. That, you know what? They're so great at this, and she just sits her.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. She's
Oh,
oh,
no. Freeze frame!
she basically she glitched into the matrix.
It was a good glitch. Well done.
You know what? I want to canonically
Yep,
just make
that's
that a
me.
crow
You're
glitch.
probably
right there.
wondering how I got here.
Crow glitch. Crow glitch.
Hey, Krill, do you need your nutrient paste for shakes?
Krill's already
Dalton's
had it.
Casual xenophobia has broken Krill.
Am I here? I can't tell.
Yeah, you are.
You're
You're
here,
back.
we can hear you.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god, that was perfect.
Sure. Throw the...
Yeah.
Yeah, trash can. That's what I... She's missing the two
Oh,
bottom...
God.
She's missing the two bottom digits on her fingers. And for anyone else, they're like direct line and jacks. And she just kind of puts her hands on the panel. She goes, you know what? I think I found the best code. And just clicks herself in.
Oh.
And she is going to give herself a 3D perspective of the entire building to see which is the...
You're gonna have to work
Nice
more for
work.
that then.
Okay.
Okay. So one, to do it.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
No, we're not getting it.
To do what you just did, you both spend fate points. So Karen and Krill, make sure you're down to 2 fate points. And then -2, let's see. Okay. Krill, you attempt to penetrate this system. Right? You walk up and you're like, I got this. And you jack in and the door immediately opens and there's the safe room waiting for you and you're feeling a bit cocky, right? You're like, oh, I fucking got this. And you're like, while I'm here, might as well take a peek around this network, right? Take a peek around the building. As you go to further connect to this system, the initial connection is refused. You try a second connection using a backdoor route that usually works for you. And when you do that,
Well, you could have been at least nicer about it. Fine. And she just taps the panel. Alright, well, this is the room we got. I was looking for something better. We don't got it.
Thank you, dear. That helped a lot.
so do we...
Also, Addie, I want to get checked for a virus later.
I don't know if Patty has that capability.
I can check you for like the flu. I
Like a
can check you.
rotovirus.
Once you start heading outside of like human stuff, I guess, I can see where maybe like part of yourself and like the robot parts connect, but past that, nope, I'm gone.
No.
So
Is the leap from bio to just bio?
there wasn't enough there for me to answer your question.
Yeah.
You were cutting out a little much.
What's going on?
Either way, Canada.
I am not on
It's Canada.
today's-
It's Canada. Blame Canada.
God
Yeah.
damn it!
Yeah. Okay.
Always Canada.
So
do you want to say it again?
She's just wondering if there is that big of a gap between biomechanical and just biology.
I'll give you an example here, okay? Look at Troy, right? Great in shape, runs for years maybe, right? Troy here, I couldn't tell you anything about how this fucker works. Dalton here, on the other hand,
Hey.
he needs to reduce his calorie intake by at least 2,000 a day. He needs to be at least doing a exercise routine 3 times a week, 4 times a week at starting off, and then he could reduce down to 3 times a week when he loses about at least 75 pounds. Other than that, and she just kind of like starts like rambling off about like the bio and the mechanical because she's like she's really fucking drunk, and then the estrogen.
Well, Dalton's feeling every moment of it.
There's two nerds in the corner talking about this shit while the rest of the party's like,
yeah,
good for you.
Yeah. Well, she specifically emphasizes like exercise because that's where she's at. That's like where her focus is.
I didn't listen to any of it. What?
Like,
What?
Krill took it in, but she's also just like... She's kind of just baffled at the idea that fleshies are probably more complicated than her mechanical stuff.
And Dalton turns to Karen and is like, apparently I could lose a bit of weight. That's all I heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should stop eating out of trash cans so much.
Oh, Jesus.
I realized the trash can joke might have been a little far. That's my bad.
Wait, Krill, were you just coming
It's
on
fine.
to him?
Are you jealous, Karen?
You all confuse me so much.
I love you, dear.
Oh.
I'm going to need a 3rd bottle by the end of the night.
okay, so are you guys just still standing around the entrance to this safe room?
Krill has walked in.
We got
Thank you
lost
for
in a
opening
5-minute
the door.
conversation at the door.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening the door.
For sure. At least Krill and Dalton and Patty were just standing up there critiquing Dalton's physical form.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, look, bud. I don't have this thing called what's the word?
Filter, class, politeness.
Yeah, that thing, right? They always tell you that you're supposed to like be nice to people or not tell them like what's going through your head immediately.
Yeah, the filter
but-
thing. Yeah.
But I've got 2 bottles in me right now. I just took the estrogen for the day. I am fucked.
All right. I appreciate you showing that you care.
I wouldn't tell you
How to get healthy.
exactly. Yeah, if I didn't care.
I can appreciate that in a
Yeah.
sort of roundabout way.
Yeah. You think you get these muscles just from anything? Nah. Most medics in my area are 200 pounds overweight, and they still run their fat asses.
We appreciate you, Patty. Thank you. Are we all inside now?
I've definitely scooched inside after getting...
Troy, honey, did you follow us in?
Troy was waiting for just, the doorway to clear.
Which we definitely took out.
It was just congested at this point.
Yeah, he was just waiting patiently going,
As soon
Jacob was
as
like
soon as
immediately
as soon as you guys
Troy.
move out of the way of Troy just walks in, and the door just. But you feel movement. You feel the inertia. You feel as this room starts to actually move in 3 dimensions and shift you around to who actually knows where this room properly exists or ends up. But as you walk into the room, it is a fairly sparse but equipped safe house. There's a bathroom, there's a bedroom with a bed, so you lay down and get some rest if you need. There seems to be a common area, a little bit of a communications area, nothing with anything too high tech. But there is actually a holoscreen broadcast that was turned on as you walked in, and you could hear the local NSF news feed going off in the background. You could hear. As you walk in, if you were paying particularly close attention, you might have heard a story about a local reporter who was fired after an embarrassing report went viral. You possibly could have picked up that there was a weapons demonstration that went wrong at the convention center today. Apparently, one local district council member died in the blast, according to the report. Yeah.
Does the report say the name?
Yeah, it does. And if you give me more than 10 seconds to get my shit together, I will have a name for you.
You take all the time you need. I wasn't pushing.
No. It's just a matter of me not having my shit together as far as that goes.
It's okay, Patty doesn't either.
Yeah. It was, Sandra Rova.
Okay.
Over.
Okay.
Was she the only one who died?
As from what you can tell, it's the only only casualty being reported in the news as it, goes by. As you're catching some of this and maybe making yourselves at home, Dalton, your comm device starts chiming.
Take it out. Check who's
Dave
on the line. That's okay. I've been waiting for this call. Pick it up.
You fucking loser. I put my ass on the line for you, and it's a fucking intro gig. And Jesus fucking Christ, what did you get up to? All I know is whoever sent the gig to me fucking burned me over, your dumb ass.
Okay, hang on a second. I gotta take you back for a second, because this was supposed to be an easy intro job, and by the time it ended...
Yeah, how'd you fuck that up?
By the end we were meeting, like, ISB up.
Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. You might as well told me your dog ate your fucking homework too while you're at it. You dumbass like you. Some fucking low-level loser like you fucking meets an ISB agent, sure.
You also screwed me, okay? This was a high-level situation that apparently we got stuck
it's a high-level situation. What'd you do? Drop the fucking food on the floor and end up careening your car into some fucking kid or some shit?
Seriously?
What, you dropped the fucking hot dog on yourself?
Large-scale assassination, so obviously you got lied to too, and now you're feeding it back into me.
I don't get fucking lied to. I don't get lied to. I'm the one who does the lying to people around these parts.
So everyone's just kicking the can down the road. That's how it's gonna be.
Nobody's kicking the can except maybe you. What was the can full of?
No,
Chili?
First of all, you're making me hungry. Second of all, I was practically set up, except for the fact that we did screw up so bad that it almost became impossible for us to be set up.
That's the first fucking thing. That's the first fucking thing you've told me that actually sounds true. I actually kind of believe you saying that. You are the world's biggest fuck up. We're done. We're done, Dalton. Click.
Okay, well, call me when you need another lift, my
He's
guy.
already gone.
Oh, throw the phone down. Maybe a little too hard.
Give me a roll.
Dalton just no-head slammed the phone into the concrete.
-1.
Congratulations. Your comm device breaks. You're going to need a new one.
I addressed that to the crowd. I'm going to need a new one of those.
I need a burner too.
I think we're all gonna need some burners after this.
Yeah, but I need it like yesterday.
I'm gonna actually just sort of handle some business here.
Have you guys spoke to your handlers or the people that you've come in contact with over this job? 'Cause,
Karen,
like, I
Karen,
can't be the only one getting chewed out for this.
Karen, there is a voicemail waiting for you. There is a message waiting for you. Karen, my love, are you okay? Karen, I'm calling to make sure you're okay, Karen. Call me back when it's Dick, Karen. It's Dick. Call me back when I am so worried about you.
I don't think I'm gonna call Dick Dangler back.
I know, it sounds pretty important.
I don't know what that name I wouldn't have
Krill?
called him the first time.
Krill, you've had a flashing notification for a message waiting for you for a while now. Just a message waiting. Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Message from Tex. Call me.
What? Yeah. Alright. And then I am half tempted to send a message to Josie, but I close it and I'm like, nope, not with this phone, and I put it somewhere else.
Then that is that as far as that concerns. Krill, when you want to read that message, let me know.
Can Karen kind of sneak off to the corner and try and surreptitiously call Dick Dangler?
Oh, absolutely you can. So the news broadcast does another cycle, and it's confirmed again for you. Only now you see footage of the LAVs swooping down at a park and missiles, weapon systems engaging and firing and exploding and blowing up the park. You're witnessing something that you should have seen had you been there, but that is definitely not what is being broadcast to the public, with a ticker on below it about how a weapons manufacturer that was at the convention was demonstrating weapons, and due to faulty programming from a third-party subsidiary outside the corporate hierarchy within NSF, the weapon systems malfunctioned and eliminated a Bayview Park, as well as accidentally killing one local district council member. Just having lived in NSF, that came through. Jesus. You living in NSF, you would know that local, district council members are sort of the lowest rung of politicians and admin personnel within the hierarchy. It's sort of the Arcology Council. There's the Arcology Consortium, then there's the Governing Council, and that of course has the Prime Council member and then the Standard Council members, that's sort of the head of it, and then the various council members. You have the ISB, the EAB, then you have your Global Arcology Council, and then you have your sort of prime local admin, and then your local arcology councils and your district council members. They're sort of comprised of various societal and corporate people, and are elected through a very interesting election process that gives corporations weighted votes within the system. So while you all are voting participants within NSF and the Global Arcology Consortium, technically your vote counts as one, whereas the votes for a corporation are determined by their market cap. So at present, Red Sea Mining has approximately 1.8 trillion votes.
Don't put this energy in the universe. This is gonna... Oh, God, this is
Cyberpunk.
prophetic.
This is cyberpunk, buddy.
I know, but...
it's basically
Actually,
our world, but worse.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the shtick of cyberpunk.
I'm just...
And it hits a little too close to home.
I'm very prepared for them to roll this out next year.
Yep. All right. Hey, Karen. Do you have Do you know if there are burners here, or do we need to go somewhere else for that?
Yeah, there's usually at least one burner in the nightstand.
Give me your
Great.
roll. Somebody, whoever's looking for the phone, give me your roll.
Yep. I am stumbling over too, so it's good +3.
Jesus.
I am
Congratulations.
drawn.
Yeah. In fact, wait. Okay, I thought I just saw something else happen. Yeah. Not only do you find, basically you walk over to right under the hollow display. There's a little there's a sort of a carved out area that as you approach, you just wave your hand in front and a drawer slides out, and there's little flip up holographic display that basically just has a series of instructions on it that says, as you remove a burner comm device from this, you have to activate it in a very specific way. But you find 4 in there.
All right. We got 4 burners back here.
Beautiful.
Hey,
I-
I pull out one.
Grab one for Dalton.
All right.
Appreciate.
If you were going to
Okay.
do something earlier, Aspen, if you want to hit it. You said you were going to call Dick, so I just don't want to take your space.
Yeah, well, I was being surreptitious when I did that.
Okay.
Crix is gonna Crix. Krill just kind of lets out a sigh and does open up her message.
So, friends?
Hold
it's
on,
really
hold
nice
on,
that
hold
we
on,
can...
hold on,
No?
hold on.
You have something. Okay.
Oh yeah, because Krill's just opened up her message. You disappoint me. I gave you your shot. I gave you your first shot. I gave you your last shot. Good luck.
Is it signed by anybody?
X.
Fuck. Let's go in her grudge book.
Oh.
All right. I send 2 text messages,
Okay.
and I'm sober enough for the first one. I send a message to text. I'm like, new number, call me here, and then I -P. And then the second message, I pull up Josie's phone number, and I say, I fucked up, period. I fucked up bad, period.
Who's Josie?
Her ex.
Ah, okay. Thank
Oh
you.
no.
I hadn't made up a name, so I just wanted to pull one out of my butt.
That's fine. Just need to take notes.
And I'm just gonna say Dalton is like fully head and hands, like sitting on whatever chair receptacle, like just crashing out.
At this point, Jacob has just decided to just say fuck it and take one of the burner phones, just without much fanfare.
That's all. I believe all 4 distributed. I don't believe let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other 2 don't really need comms devices.
Yep.
Nope.
Um,
Does Troy notice like the general mood of anyone here?
I don't know. Does Troy notice the general mood of anyone here?
Can I try rolling a empathy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's -1 plus 2, so 1.
Patty's fucking a mess. There's too much going on there to really figure out for yourself, but you for sure you're like, well, that's a fucked up human. I know what that looks like. That's they've come to me like that before, right? Karen is most assuredly surprisingly within her element. Doesn't seem too rocked, actually seems kind of stable. Right?
That's what I like about her.
So you're looking for some sort of response from these people, and as you just sort of observe their behavior for the last 30 minutes or so, you're like, okay, that one is a steaming pile. That one seems to be operating fairly okay. Jacob is sort of beyond your read at this point. You don't get Jacob. You're just sort of like, I don't know. Dalton seems pretty shook up, but not to the extent that Patty is. So you're like, that one's sort of in the middle, and then there's Karen over there. Right? You're like, okay, I see. And then there's just Jacob that's just sort of an outlier for you. You're like, I don't know what's going on there. And as far as you're concerned, you can't really get a read on Krill at all. Like, you don't. That's not a set
Krill just reads his crab.
Yeah, crab.
The purest evolution.
Yes. Yeah, Krill is not, you were never programmed to conceive of or contend with anything in the realm of Krill. So Krill is an alien to you as far as you're concerned. Jacob is just impossible to read at this point in time. Karen seems fine. Dalton seems a little funky, and Patty seems like the kind of client that tends to get a little rough with you, probably. There seems to be negative emotion.
Well then, going by priority, Troy walks over to Patty. And he just says, do you require anything?
You got more alcohol?
Troy looks around the room to see if there's any potential alcohol he can go bring Patty.
Give me a roll.
Alrighty.
Just brings rubbing alcohol.
+0.
There's a bottle of hand sanitizer on the sink.
Do it.
Troy just goes and grabs it. It's alcohol. And he walks back with it, and he just has it in his hand, and he hands it over to Patty and says, is this adequate?
She stares at it for a moment, and she almost considers tasting it. She's just drunk enough. Just drunk enough.
Okay.
He drops in some juice.
No. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
Here's the first real, true compel.
Okay.
You invoked a stunt. You were responsible for someone drugged out of their mind, potentially drowning.
Yeah.
You were just involved in some sort of state-operated terrorist situation. You have
Now keep in mind, she has worked under high amounts of stress.
Yeah. No.
But
yeah,
this is just gone beyond her.
So how about for a fate point?
Okay.
You down that bottle and let it all out.
Oh dear God.
Oh boy.
This is tempting. She pulls out her medical bag, and
Jesus.
she pulls up something to make her retch, because she knows, even in the drunk mind, this is not going to be good. Once it's down, she needs to get it out pretty quickly. And she pulls out whatever concoction she needs to set up, and she sets that down. And she's going to get a fate point.
Give me a roll.
Mediocre.
So 0.
Mm.
So, if you will allow me,
Okay.
Patty downs the bottle of hand sanitizer, having been
Yep.
so generously provided by Troy.
Yeah. She like uncaps it and just is like slowly letting it sink down her throat.
As
God.
as she finishes the bottle,
Oh, what the fuck?
she pukes all over Troy. Just all of it. Just all of it. Just and not just the alcohol, not just the hand sanitizer. The 14-year-old, the druggie, it's all coming up. All the emotion,
Yeah.
all of the disgust, all of the disgust in yourself for working for a corporation like MedTech who would let someone die like you just did. Have your scene.
I look up at Troy. It's your fucking fault, isn't it?
Troy doesn't react. Troy's just sitting there. He's put on a kind of a friendly smile, but one that's welcoming, one that's, encouraging you to speak. He's just sort of...
Fucking smile at me. Don't you fucking condescend to me, okay? You fucking signed up for this goddamn job, and you thought, oh, it's another fucking job. But you know what the fuck you did, Troy? You know what you fucking did? You killed somebody, alright? You blew up some goddamn fucking park, you fucking robot, and let some fucking idiot walk off the goddamn pier, and now you're sitting here surrounded by fucking lunatics
Karen
when you're
comes
like...
over and tries to calm down Patty.
Thank you, Karen. Krill's about to lose her shit too.
Don't you touch me, I'm gonna break your nose.
At this point, Jacob just kind of looks over at the scene and just starts just pawing at one of the machine guns just in his pants. Just like, oh, fuck. This shit's gonna
Troy
pop up.
actually interjects with Karen. He holds his hand out and says, no, this is okay. I am programmed for this.
And she kicks Troy into Karen.
Oh, okay.
Give me a roll.
Alright.
Troy, give me a roll.
Okay.
Rather slowly, but Dalton's
one.
gonna try and get up as this happens. Oh my god.
Just gets up a little too fast. That blood's rushing to the head.
Probably, yeah. To be
Yeah,
honest,
I got a +1.
Okay.
I might pass
I
out.
got a -1, but I'm wondering, do I add physique to that? Or do we just let that stay?
It's
Oh
kinda
yeah,
doing
no.
it.
In fact, as Patty shoves Troy,
Yeah.
what actually happens in Patty's head? Patty fucking shoved the shit out of this dude, right?
Yep.
For any bystander, Patty just pushed herself back.
She slips on the
Oh,
vomit
no.
on the ground.
Okay,
Yep.
so noted. Troy can stand his ground when he wants to.
She falls on the ground, hits her head, and is like, fuck!
Uh,
He is pure metal.
that is
Oh,
true.
mostly metal.
Metal where it counts.
Yeah, metal workouts, yeah.
Krill. The humans are doing human things, and even the robot seems to be doing human things. Right? Like even Troy, who's not really human, is doing human things. Everybody around you is doing human things. How does that make Krill feel? What does that make Krill do? How does Krill handle this?
She's getting overwhelmed by all of this just unkempt emotion that's just in the room, and she's just like, tactile, require something to focus on anything besides their goddamn bickering. Are there any vents that I can see that lead outside? Any windows or anything of the sort? Or are we literally in like a box?
You're in a bunker. There is a ventilation system that has an NBC filtration system that seems to be routed, but you are in a bunker.
All right. You know what Krill does is she goes to a wall.
Okay.
Finds a power source.
Okay.
Links herself up. She shuts down.
Cool. That's, I mean, yeah.
She's charging. She's just, you know what?
Peace.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Forces standby mode.
So, let me set the scene here. We've got a gangbanger who's fingering his silenced SMGs. A con artist who is very slowly tried to make her way out of the room only to re-engage with this situation. A silent driver who probably is in the middle of an existential spiral as he witnesses this shit show. A barely human crab, robot, android, drone, rigger creature who has just gone into standby in the corner and is like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out, right? We've got a sex bot covered in, or a former sex bot covered in just dripping at this point with just mostly liquid. It's mostly bile and stomach juices. There's not much chunks to it. It's primarily liquid. And then we've got one angry, crying, sobbing, still kind of punching, but like laying in their own pool of alcoholic vomit as they do. As this scene sort of settles, it takes this moment. Fade to black.
Intermission.
So, let's restart. The light of a new day. Even though you're in a bunker and there is no light for you to perceive. But there are timepieces, there are internal clocks, there are circadian rhythms, there are those who have trained and fought and gotten used to waking up at certain hours.
There is a drone banging into Krill's head, trying to remind her to take her medication right fucking now, maybe minutes ago. Just
Then I would say most everyone else is probably awake and or aware. Though, I have one question. What has Troy done through the night?
Troy he hasn't cleaned himself off yet.
Okay.
He just went and found another available power port and plugged in.
Cool. All right. Then the light of a new day is upon you. Some of you probably have hangovers, at least a little bit, seeing as some of you didn't properly hydrate last night. Some of you may have some mixed feelings about what just occurred. So, a quiet morning in the safe house bunker. That probably smells a little weird.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
So
The next big noise that comes is a large blender as Patty is standing there, sunglasses on. Yeah. And it's just a dark blue mix as she just blends it together.
That looks awfully tasty.
Mm-hmm. You want some?
No, I'm good. Thank you. So, that was quite an event we had yesterday, wasn't it? That was something. That's new for me. Is that new for all of you?
Yeah, Cop. cops coming in.
Yeah.
Humans lying to you and deceiving you and setting you up for failure? No, not the first time.
I've never been in an explosion before myself, to be honest.
Same. That was new for me as well.
Everything that is currently occurring to me has never happened to me before.
Yeah, jobs are usually cleaner on my end than that.
Fair. No. Karen, me, hi. Karen usually works alone. Karen usually handles everything alone. And Karen usually ends up all right on the other end. And this time, Karen's not feeling so all right on this other end. Karen needs some help. Karen needs some help from you. All.
Is she saying this out loud?
And yes.
Yeah.
And number one, Karen needs to figure out what in the hell happened yesterday.
That's a good thread to pull. I think first we figure out how we got in the middle of some kind of weird giant political assassination attempt or something.
I got a phone call from a friend of mine who told me to meet at the Lucky Lou Tavern. 2,500 credits.
Same.
And I went. We all heard the job. I showed up. I hung outside the door. I was watching the door of the meeting, making sure no one would come in. Granted, I did my thing. Communication is a little bit difficult for me at times. I didn't communicate real great yesterday. Gonna work on that moving forward, like right now. But I'm curious what everyone else was doing all of that time while we were on the job. Dalton here, honey, you did great. You were hanging out by the car. You stood there the whole time. You were wonderful. You were just wonderful. Yeah.
I do it.
Patty, you did the best darn job you could. I really appreciated you being there.
She's not
Because-
responding at all.
Yeah, great. Krill, honey, that was really useful to know what was going on there, especially out front of the building when everything got all crazy and you almost got us blown up before we blew everything up. What? I'm curious. Do you know what set off the bomb?
I did.
Oh, you did.
I'm sorry. What?
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
news
Preemptive
to me.
calculation implying bomb's intentional site. All of us are in radius. If I did not pre-detonate, I did not know large-scale explosive was in it. What I did see was, to put it simple, and she reissues the screenshot she set up earlier of the JP. Manifesto of extremist organization. I thought I was simply shutting down a single bot. I did not know it was loaded with explosives. But I'm glad I did it sooner. Otherwise we would have all been kaput.
Hey, I appreciate you being preemptive and taking care of that before it got worse. It may not have been the best option, but might have been, hey, we avoided a worse outcome. So thank you.
I had alternatives I could have done. I was not working at top efficiency, quite nervous from being my first real, how would you say it? Crime? Or no, gig? No, crime?
Gig
Close
words.
I mean, it either
Close enough.
works.
Close enough.
Okay.
Okay.
I call them gigs, but I don't really do a lot of... I mean, I'm there for a lot of crimes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Troy, honey, if you want to anytime, if you feel the need, go ahead and get yourself cleaned up. Puke is generally not a good look on you, just so you know.
Thank you. And Troy just immediately spins on his foot and turns and goes to the bathroom.
Beautiful. Jacob, honey, curious, what were you doing?
I mean, I just scouted ahead. Everything seemed normal. It looked like just a regular convention to me outside of just whatever the fuck that demonstration was. Fucking after that, I just kind of just strolled around, just waiting for somebody to try and get into that building.
So you didn't see anything from your preemptive showing up and hanging out or anything?
I mean, the only thing I heard from like I told y'all, I heard a couple of suits saying that like there was some real like high fucking important clientele inside of that center. Outside of that, I got nothing else to work with.
Okay. So it sounds like we had a runner, we had a driver, we had a surveillance, we had our med, we had our hacker, and we had our brains. Okay. All right.
Wait, is that you?
Right. Well, yeah, clearly.
Well, you know what they say about blondes.
We're geniuses. Thank you. So, I'm curious.
You all recall from the data banks and from childhood the 2030s campaign that actually left an impression that brunettes were the dumb ones in society and blondes were the smart ones.
I hate that.
Yes. Thank you.
As a blonde, I hate not being able to make that joke.
Yeah, brunette jokes were all the rage in the 2030s.
Yeah, well, that's the 2030s. They're boomers.
So it would be a great Dalton joke.
I mean, I do love making fun of the brunettes.
Okay. So, friends, it seems like we have a pretty interesting little ragtag group of individuals together, and we seem to be in this pickle together. So I'm curious, moving forward, it might make sense for this group.
It's what your heart.
Situation. Difficult situation, hon. Yeah, we're in a difficult situation. I'll keep wanting to use idioms for you. It's not going to work. We should work together. That's what I'm saying. We should work together. We should make this a thing. We should find a grift and grift it till the end and ride it to the sunset.
That's not really my style.
Do I have to flash my tits?
Only if it gets us money.
No thanks.
I mean, look,
They'll get us money.
Creds are creds, but I don't really got a lot of grifty skills. A lot of my skills yield real, measurable results. If you catch my drift.
By the way, Troy just walked out of the bathroom completely stark naked.
Oh my God.
Hey, he took some stuff off. He's learning.
He has the clothing in his hands and stuff. He's holding them up and he's saying, "These clothes are soiled. I can put them back on though if you would wish me."
Is
there a washing machine?
Yeah, Troy, buddy. Let's clean those off.
Yeah, there's a washing machine. Okay, Krill's just like, and she has to at least do this much humaning. She's just like, I'll take them.
Thank you.
And then just goes off.
Thank you.
And Troy's just now standing in the middle of the room, completely still naked.
Who's got
Troy,
his
honey?
How big is his dick?
As big as you want. Have you not seen the commercials?
No, I'm asking this as a meta question, not a in-person.
Oh.
I'd say he's about 6 inches now.
Okay. Grower or shower?
Whatever you want.
Troy, honey,
you.
you are the one mystery that we have not really cracked open at all in this ragtag group of friends. Where did you come from? Do you know?
And less important, but also kind of important, how the hell did you get to the Lucky Lou?
Yes.
Troy kind of looks off in the distance, and you see his eyes kind of dart around. And he says, "Accessing memory." And he says, I am unable to ascertain my current origins. My operational logs have stated I have been operating for about 3 years. However, my active memory only goes back to 32 days. Earliest memory, I was on the street. I had just walked out of a building. I was seeking new parts for repair.
Are you broken?
What brought you to the Lucky Lou Tavern?
I had found, after about 32 days of searching, I have found various potential replacement parts. While looking through a pile of discarded androids, I came across the body of a discarded human. Inside of its pocket was a communication device. I answered it. It told me to go to the Lucky Lou.
We're just gonna glaze over the part where he said discarded body.
That's not important.
Well, in all fairness, when we got called out for what they did, they called us a bunch of nobodies. So I feel like, yeah, pulling on the thread of where Troy got the phone call might not be so important if he received a call from that was intended for a nobody like us, apparently.
But Troy just confirmed what I was kind of thinking from our dear IBS friend, whichever one it is. He mentioned that he had no clue who the fuck Troy was. Troy doesn't even know who Troy is. Troy's our answer. I think Troy here is our key. I think Troy, honey, is gonna get us the big paydays.
I mean, if you're
Our
talking
little
about
buddy Troy here is one hell of a hacker. No?
Define hacker.
Troy, honey, when those planes were coming in and you talked to them, didn't you?
I communicated with the... Yes.
Yeah. That is called hacking. When you win and you put yourself in there and you talk to them, I can't do that. I would have to have special equipment to do that. And even then it'd be a pain in the ass. No, I can't do that, honey. No, that's something that just you can do.
Troy actually looks a little teeny tiny little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, you're special. You're our special little friend.
Troy, as Karen says you're special, you hear the voice again, calling out. Troy.
Troy does kind of look, for like just a second, distracted. And then he returns his attention back to the group.
You okay, bud?
I am operating at 97% efficiency.
What's the 3%?
Troy turns around, and there is a hole in the back of his head.
Oh.
Fair.
Does anyone know what normally goes in a unit like this back there?
I've seen it before, okay? You ever watch that movie, Jim Hawkins gets robot guy? You know, it's like the memory banks at the back of his head. That's what it is.
I mean, I don't work with Troy units, so I'll take your word for it.
And he seems to be forgotten most of his life, so I would agree with you. That's probably what he's missing.
Where's that? What's her name again? Where's that? Who's the person that took this dude's clothes again? Do you think we could get her to look at him?
Are you referring to Krill?
Yeah, Krill. That's what I'm talking about.
She's right there.
You,
No?
as the camera pans to her, you see her looking at the basically the advanced washing machine, and it's only at this moment you realize she's communicating with it. Just like
talking to it.
Talking
she's
gossip.
straight. You can't hear anything, but you can tell with like her jacked in and all that, and like lights flickering. Like you're just straight up chatting with the fucking machine,
God damn.
and then just have a great day. Oh, what's up? Oh my God, Troy! There's a hole in your head. She just drops the clothes.
Jesus.
Yes, that's maybe give him back his beanie. It appears he needs it.
Before that, like all of the little drones just quickly like fly off of her and just do like a head to toe, not a head to toe, just around the head wound. Before they do it though, she's like, Troy, may I do a proper check on that? That doesn't look okay. Okay.
Troy is trying to answer. He looks a little like hesitant. He's about to say yes and suddenly says, no, I would prefer you didn't.
Understood. And the drones, you even see like the drones are looking confused, like they're starting to check with each other. It's like, no, get back here. And just one after another. Two doesn't want to go back. I was like, get the fuck.
I mean, we're gonna need something to cover that fucking thing. I'm guessing you're not waterproof there?
Here's your beanie back then.
Troy takes the beanie and just says, thank you, and puts it back on.
Right.
And he looks over at Jacob and says, I was.
Well, we're gonna need to take care of that, because I doubt we need you just being that type of liability.
Well, he's 97% functioning.
I'm sorry, was he not just a good asset to the team back there, Jacob? He was at least active.
If we splash a bucket
situation.
of water on him, he's done.
Maybe splash a bucket of acid on you, you're done. What's your point?
Look, call me
Are your
crazy.
lungs not susceptible to flooding?
Yes, but I'd need to get water in there first.
I see no different to the analogy you made to Troy.
I start pulling a bucket from under the sink.
All right.
I think Troy did great, and he just has a little bit left to do to be put back together. Now, one other thing that I had that happened when I was out by the building that had the bomb go off, that whole thing that we're still dealing with. When that happened, I got an investigator who came up to me and talked to me, and they seemed to kind of want to know something in there. Is there anybody else have any other people they've dealt with in this?
Now you mention it, there was a news reporter asking for some stories around there. I get she didn't really seem to know much either. She was fetching, trying to fish some answers out of me.
Okay. So, it seems to me we have a few avenues to poke around at. We have our friend Steve at the bar. We have the investigator who I talked to.
Who's Steve?
Avery.
Who?
Yeah, I know Avery. I don't know Steve.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know Steve neither.
He said
The
Steve to
Lucky
her.
Lou bartender?
His name's Avery Steve. He gave a middle name.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I never knew his middle name was Steve.
Hang on. I need rolls from Karen and Patty.
Oh.
I got a 3.
Mine is 2.
Congratulations, you believe his middle name is Steve.
Good job.
Okay. Yeah, so Avery, Steve. Yeah. We could go talk to them. And then there's your reporter friend. And then there's the person who died. That's our other person we could look into. So,
What? You mean the...
Sandra Rova.
Oh, okay. That person who died.
Yes, the person that died in the explosion.
Supposedly, I did not... Kai, can I just play back through the 3D scans I had? Was there a person just out there?
Yeah, go ahead and narrate that. What's that look like for you?
Alright, Krill's like about to speak and she's just like... question. Do you think it would be a common thing to have a holographic display, or is that still a little too sci-fi?
Well, no. I mean, you absolutely could just use, because we've already demonstrated there's a holo display in this facility. So you could just plug into the TV and
perfect.
Cast it over.
Yeah. And then, like, as she pulls back, a cord comes out of her hand, like, so she can walk away from it. Let's play back the day. And as she's, like, glitching out, the TV just starts... And we're back to the day before. You can see patches of the parking lot missing. Krill's own info kind of splots bit back in there. And she starts speeding up to later when her drone flies above the office area, getting a good look at the fields below and everything. She's looking at...
You can see the 3-dimensional display, holographic display come up. And of course, classic cyberpunk aesthetic. There's scan lines where there need not be. And you see the events of the previous day play out. You see somebody walk up to Karen. You see an ice cream cone laden Jacob. You see Dalton. You see a drugged up individual confront Patty. You see a security guard confront the two of them. You see all of the events. You see the layout. Here's what you don't see. You don't see anybody next to Dalton. You don't see anybody in the park.
Good information in discrepancies. Dalton, you said you had multiple encounters with a single person in the car. I have 0 vital signs.
I appreciate you going through that footage. That's not the most exciting thing I heard today, but thank you.
Was that the stroke thing you were worrying about?
Yeah, now I'm genuinely wondering if I need antipsychotics. Either way.
Keep in mind, this only specifically represents the vitals I can see. We know they were, and she, like, literally pointing her finger in, adds an artificial icon to the 3D display. From Karen's description, when my drone was above the office, there were 2 people in its sights that were completely invisible to my sensors. Did not appear whatsoever. Yet we know for a fact Karen saw 2 people uncloak. Now, cloaking visually, yeah, that's what one expects, but they're useless without them being digital cloaks as well. Hence why they were Hence why I was completely blind to them. They could be making as much rustling noise as they want, and I'd be blind to them unless I saw them with my visual sights only.
Krill. There's people coming and going in the feedback. There's people walking along the pathways. There's the people over by the shops. One of them isn't moving through most of your recording. One of them seems to be facing towards Dalton and Jacob.
So their information is updated, and like we discussed it, like they do 360 spins, and when they do that, they're basically updating the information. Krill is going to try and go to real photo and see if there's any details that are made out that the 3D space can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You for 100%, you can absolutely see this individual. They're clad in black leather. They've got just a rainbow mohawk. They've got dusters on their knuckles. They pretty much look like your box standard nil.
I have not had many interactions with them, but at the scrapyard, I have bumped into a couple of Nils fencing gear. Jacob, do you recognize this person? And she just like, it's an enhance, but like, let's be real, you see the pixels pretty well now as she does it. Just
Jacob, give me a roll.
Right. Boom. -2.
When they're in your time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. It's a pretty fucking large crew. Can't say he looks too familiar, especially like that.
Wasn't there that reporter? She was saying, I mean, before she got told she was wrong, but there's a group of people. What are they called? The Nils? Who are they?
I mean, it's complicated. So, long story short, they're a gang that operates just, let's be real here, mostly among the dredges of society. The Nils stands for nihilists, and they are about what you'd expect. Rowdy, unremorseful. What they want is what they get, and they do what they need to do in order to get it. And frankly, you know, whatever you can think of, drugs, gun running, fucking if there's some shit to be had, Nils are gonna be gunning for it at some point or another. So why this one was fucking out here, just among civvies, I couldn't fucking tell you. You know, just on his lonesome.
How is Jacob dressed right now?
It's a lot less flashy than the average Nil. Just,
Okay.
you know, just
Yeah.
for you know, for his use of the word civvies, he's dressed like one himself. Just some black standard corpo jacket with some like kind of low cut like sort of jeans, just kind of that show off his robo legs,
Okay.
and like just some regular like leather boots to go along, just to complete the look.
She squints a little bit, but she's not going to say anything in that moment.
Yeah.
All right. So, reviewing all that feed, then, what's the game plan from here?
Do you still have an in with the Nils much?
I mean, he hasn't really mentioned that he's part of the Nils.
I
He's just
mean,
kind of here.
okay.
You talked about the Nils, and Krill kind of profiled.
Oh, she fucking
And-
tricked him into admitting.
And
Yeah, she was just like, "Hey, Jacob, you look like a person from the street. You recognize this person?" Like, nah, they're not one of my crew. You
Oh,
pretty
fuck.
much was
yeah,
there.
you
Yeah.
already walked
up.
into that one
I
narratively.
fucked up.
And also, your high concept, you went your own way. The Nils probably aren't big fans of that,
Right.
right? Like, you started doing your own thing. It would have started subtle, right? Doing your own gigs on the side, not cutting them in, that sort of stuff. But eventually you went your own way. That's your high concept. And a gang like that's
Right.
usually not super favorable towards that sort of behavior. So probably not.
Right.
So feel free to answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. He just kind of looks off to the side. It's just like he's not really quite sure like what exactly to give away or what to say. So he says like, I used to run with a few. It wasn't anything too serious. So, I mean, I could get you just like I know a few street cats that are just still kind of just out there, but aside from that, I don't know any of the higher ups or anyone that's like really important here.
All right.
Well, we could always ask a bit of a underbelly of a person. They would trade a lot. They are very good at trade, and information is amongst the things they trade in. Perhaps they know who they are. Have you ever been to... It's a specific scrapyard. It's called the Impound. Have you ever been?
I mean, I knew some guys that used to frequent there. Not really my stomping grounds.
It's run by Edwin Swain, one of the most... As humans go, you always know they're lying to you and never trying to get you the best deal. They're somehow the most trustworthy human I know for them being never trustworthy.
Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of how he runs with people.
It's also pretty high compliment to be trusted.
He often is the one who's willing to actually pay for the scrap that I don't need for my drones and future projects, as well, when you need to replace a limb after it goes septic, things like that. What one can consider, though, is he's dealt with most of the underbelly, and it might be pricey. And he likes money. He likes things more. We can try with him, but we didn't end on greatest terms last time. He really, really wanted this hover module I found, and he wasn't taking no for an answer, and then didn't take no for an answer. So,
I mean, if
Yeah.
it comes down to it, we can rough him up a little bit.
like, I wouldn't hate getting the hover module back, but it's really not as important as us getting that information back.
All right. Okay. So, look, I'm a medic here. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I do one job. I do it real good. So, y'all make the decision. I'll keep you alive. That's just how I run.
I mean, I'll give you guys a lift anywhere. It's it's been a long time since I felt like I was doing something fun and engaging in my work. So, I mean, if you guys need a lift, I got cars for days.
Appreciate that, Dalton.
No problem.
Jacob, do you want to call on your contact, or should I make an appointment with Swain?
I figure we should do both. I mean, like I said, I don't run with the nils anymore, if you catch my drift, so better to keep this just kind of on the DL.
And from Swain's perspective, I'm sure we're all fine, even though he robbed me. All right.
Is there any public information about this Sandra Rova person who died?
Yeah, 100%. Sandra Rova is a 41-year-old male from the Russian district. Came up through the docks, fairly beloved in the local community, has a reputation of being, despite everything, a trustworthy and honest individual. That's why his district actually put him up. Is in a world of corruption, Rova seemed to push back against it.
So he had a huge target on his back. Wonderful.
Yeah, Dalton seeming more engaged after hearing about this is like, is it possible that this one person was a target? Maybe we didn't screw up as hard as we thought. Like I'm just thinking if we got duped so hard, we might even be deeper into duping than we even realize.
I have more of a strong feeling that this was a convenient place to dispose of someone who was a problem.
Yeah,
But I'm wondering, they're tied together somehow, though, because whoever wanted this person dead also probably knew something about this bomb going off or something going on. So I think this is an important trail to maybe go down.
Yeah, and I think it would do us some due diligence to find out if maybe what kind of connections other people that we can identify had towards anyone else. Because yeah, like maybe we did mess up a hit where they were going to take out a bunch of activist government workers.
I mean,
I don't necessarily know who shows up to a gun show though.
all sorts of people.
Yeah. So theoretically they could be taking out their enemies, their teammates, and everybody all at once if we didn't stop it. Or this was just a concentrated attack on a singular individual.
This is so far above my pay grade. They could be, I don't know, planning to drone strike the city or something, and I wouldn't fucking know.
Pay grade. I would get shot for being engaged in this kind of stuff usually with my work.
Yeah, well, usually you hear about some of this and you just drink it away after your recent run.
I see that. I see you using that strategy.
What?
I see the drinking strategies working for you.
Working is a word for it.
Do one of you have a connection in the Russian area?
I'm sorry, I'm Irish on my mother's side.
I honestly forgot they existed, to be honest.
I'm not even supposed to be this pale, and she points to the little bit of flesh she has left. That's from a tank. I don't remember my original skin.
I have no memory of any prior contacts.
Thank you, Troy, honey.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I will 100% drop a fate point on the table for a roll and a potential re-narration. Hey, Troy, you want a point? Roll a dice.
All right.
I'll give you the point just for the roll.
I got terrible.
Well, there you go.
Troy knows a Russian gangbanger. He has no memory of it, but Troy actually has encountered a Russian gangbanger before in his past.
Good to know.
No, girl, I have one question. Did you at least have a parent?
Me?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For anybody,
I woke up in a laboratory.
for anybody taking notes, the Zakones, Zakones. That'll be the Russian gang. We're just establishing lore on that one. But
The cones?
yeah.
Yep.
Clones.
Yeah, you gotta have Bitman with it. Oh, God.
Enjoy your point, Troy.
She's looking at the counter for a minute, and she's like, somebody tell me not to get a bottle right now.
I mean, I'll go with you if that's what you're asking.
No, somebody tell me not to get a bottle right now, because no, it is way too early in the day for this.
Do not get a bottle
Alcohol.
right now.
Thank you.
Alcohol is a
Troy.
poison.
Yes, I know it's a poison. That does not help. But thank you, Troy. All right. No bottle. Fuck me.
Do you say that "fuck me" out loud?
Yeah.
Troy turns to you.
No, please.
What the fuck? Troy, what?
You have are you requesting intercourse?
No, bud.
Troy turns
No.
away.
Okay, Troy, listen. So, sometimes people don't take this as a command. Sometimes people say, fuck me, as a way to say, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, don't confuse the guy.
I find your vernacular confusing.
No, there we go.
So, you know how when you're confused, and that's frustrating, or you're, like, dealing with a lot?
I do not feel frustration.
He's a robot, ma'am.
Yet.
He's okay. Look, this robot has been doing weird stuff since we fucking met him. Okay, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. Okay, so I'm treating him like another fucking person, you know, because that it makes me feel somewhat sane, I guess.
Thank you.
I prefer you treating machines as people as well.
Yeah.
Eh.
Karen wants to make a phone call
Go for
to
it.
someone that she really doesn't want to talk to. An old friend named Vlad,
Okay.
Oh,
who
God.
left a rather bad taste in her mouth
Okay.
last time she saw him.
Is
All
he
right,
trying to
TMI, Karen.
It took me a second.
Thank you for catching on.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, my Vladdy friend.
Will you be one-siding this, or do you need
Boy.
Vlad filled in for you?
I'd like Vlad to talk to me.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So,
hello.
just to set the scene, are we doing this in front of the others? Are you gonna just cut off to the bathroom and be like, I'll be right back? How's this look?
Yeah, no, this is bathroom.
Okay.
This is going off to the bathroom.
So how do you excuse yourself to get this done?
Excuse me, I need to go use the little ladies' room. I'll just be a minute. Don't you friends go anywhere.
Yeah, that was just dreadfully suspicious, but I'm not going anywhere.
I
I mean,
Karen's
Alright.
really subtle.
the
Do you need a tampon?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right.
So, calls up her friend Vladdy in the bathroom.
Karen, my dear, it's been so long since you last availed me of your Ah, your talents.
Yes, well, I didn't quite feel that the compensation matched the performance that was rendered.
Well, what can I say? Not every performance is a hit with the critics.
Yes, well, the damage done took a little bit extra to fix.
Oh, well, maybe for the next showing we can discuss some extra compensation.
Well, Vladdy, my friend, that next compensation might have to include some new friends of mine.
Ooh,
You see,
what do you have in mind?
Watching the news at all?
You know I have people for that, Karen.
Yeah. Well, do you happen to know someone by the name of Sandra Rova?
Oh, such a shame about that. Such an upstanding member of society. I don't know what we'll do with him gone now.
Terrible. How did he pass?
I don't know. All I know is probably what you know, Karen, which is very little. You know me. I try not to get my hands too dirty.
Well, any dirtier than they always are.
Well, you help with that.
So, my little Vladdy friend.
Yes.
I may have
Yes, my little
a
puppet.
way to hook up a connection for that little thing that you have some hard times getting. That's really gets you going.
Okay, well, now we're talking, but what do you want?
I'm, as you've so eloquently stated, mixed up in some things. This Sandra Rova person is now tied into this mess I find myself in, and I sadly don't know who this person is. Why on earth would they find themselves exploded?
Well, I mean, you know how life is, Karen. Sometimes you're just the wrong person in the wrong place, the wrong time, who made the wrong decision.
And who might be encouraging them to want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Well, my dear, once one is no longer with us, it's not that difficult to arrange for them to be at any place, at any time.
Understandable, yes.
Now, I've given you what you want. When do I get what I want?
Do you have a soft drop for me?
I presume this is your newest comm device?
One of them.
I'll send the coordinates.
Much appreciated.
Next
right.
time, wear the little red number. Click.
As she's doing this, we're in the kitchen, and Patty has pulled up 4 different bottles of the blue shake, and she's like, "Hey, Dalton." So, I see that you're getting a lot of shit for your weight and all that, right? All right.
Yeah.
I've got your solution here, okay? Basically is I get 4 of these a day, right? And this is kind of like an in-between between smaller meals I usually eat. I've kind of gone on the where I eat bits and pieces a day instead of just big meals at a time. It works for me. Maybe you can figure it out. But if you want, I can give you 2 of these right here. and instead of like eating like 3 burgers and 4 sodas at one point, try to, maybe go like a soda and a burger, put this in as that other part, and it should help with any hungers and any appetites, and see how it works.
I mean, I'm not averse to trying to get better and healthier. I mean, I do sit around in a car a lot, so it'd be nice to use my legs.
Yeah. 95% of dieting, though, is what you eat, not what you do.
Okay. I thought my cars were killing me.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but also this is a big aspect of it. So, emphasize here and keep this for at least 4 weeks, and you should be able to go, as long as you're not starving yourself like some people do, you should probably be able to lose 10 pounds in 4 weeks.
Hey, only 60 to go from my last critique. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'll definitely, you'll have a new Dalton in a month.
All right. Okay. Here you go. And she hands over 2, and she's like, just keep that. And yeah.
In the back of his head, Dalton is not super committed to diet, but appreciates it either way.
Dalton, you actually have a decent willpower.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a matter of whether you want to do it or not. So just speaking as far as character development goes.
Yeah.
This is a matter of whether Dalton wants to.
Well, I'll say that Dalton not being non-committal to diet, that's a reaction of many years of not wanting to go on diets. But in receiving this and recognizing that Patty is actually putting out a helping hand and she wants Dalton to be better, and looking around the room at this weird menagerie of people that Dalton has come to know, and especially like looking at the closed bathroom door, knowing that Karen's in there, someone that Dalton wants to have like a clear connection with, Dalton looks at the dietary plan a little more openly than the initial reaction.
Yes, the power of the, yes.
Dalton is a simple man at best.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to push you guys a little bit here. You've got sort of a course, sort of a game plan that you've, sort of hashed out and figured it out a little bit. What do you do? What's this look like? What's this menagerie show look like on the road? How do you guys, where do we go from here?
Do I ever get a text back from Tex?
Oh, you have a text from Tex waiting that said, call me.
All right. I guess I'm going to be on the road. I'll call him.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that once we're on the road then.
Mm.
Krill's going to take a similar time to call her contact that utterly makes her sickened a little.
Swaim?
Yeah.
Krill, my number one supplier. How are you doing? So long since I heard from you.
Yeah, it's been a dry season, and I haven't come across too many big hauls, but I have something that I think you'll want to trade for, but I think you'll be happy. I don't want credits this time.
Well, that's unusual. You know how I feel about change to our arrangements. So, what do you want?
Yeah, yes, I know. You prefer to hold the cards. I have a person of interest that I would like your help with.
Things can be arranged. What kind of help do you need, my dear?
There was a nil member scoping out a gig I was doing, and best to cover my tracks.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, business is business after all, and I do business with the Nils from time to time. Maybe we could make an arrangement happen. They'll understand, I suppose, if one of their members happens to have unfortunate times befall them, I suppose. That is, if...
I assume since they're in the game, it's all part of what comes with the job.
Business is business after all.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have for me?
I came across and anyone watching her see, like, Krill's face can't show it. Her body, you see her die a little inside. I found an X362 military... I found a military flight drone that is capable of intercontinental missiles.
Ah, well, that may have a market. I'd have to look into that, of course, and see what the exact value is. But I suppose, since we go way back, I could do you this favor.
Thank you so much, Swain, for your generosity.
Oh, you know me. Big heart. So how about, I think I could clear a couple of things for an X362, Could you be here in maybe an hour? 2 at most?
I can make 2.
Well then. Krill, my dear, I look forward to doing business again with you.
Lovely. You as well. See you soon.
Ah, yes. Click.
And you just see her grab the closest thing to her and whip it against the wall. Just shatter it.
So one of the bottles that Patty had pulled out during her, that's one less liquor bottle.
Oh, God damn.
Man. That's all right. Well, I guess my shelf is getting less filled today.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. Look.
I haven't fully deactivated the missile systems yet.
Okay. Look.
Dalton.
Yeah, you got it. Dalton.
Yeah, well, Dalton very awkwardly tries to go up to Krill, but obviously very standoffish. Are you okay? I don't know if you're supposed to get mad at something. Is everything okay?
No, but that's okay. Just setting back things. That's all.
I know that feeling. I felt a vibe from the anger you had. I know the pain. That's all I'm saying. I feel you. And Dalton just kind of turns and scurries away, kind of like he already felt like he was neck deep in shit he didn't understand.
Okay. Fair enough.
I start picking up the pieces of the bottle. And I'm just like, all right, are we ready to roll then? We got what we need to do?
So, I'm just going to helm this for a second. As Karen approaches the door and presses the recall button, You all begin to feel the inertia. You begin to feel the motion as this bunker safe house that you seemingly have acquired begins to shift into motion once again in 3 axes of movement. And the music kicks on. The badass music. You hear the drum beat, you hear that guitar lick kick in, and we see our group. No longer quite yet fully a team, but no longer individuals. And as this room comes to a jerking halt, the door slides open effortlessly. Music reaching a crescendo. And smash. Black screen.